Hi, Liz. Welcome to the More of Me podcast. I'm so excited to have you because you're a fitness mama, and this is like the perfect time for fitness talk. Everybody's going to start the new year, they're going to start their New Year's resolutions. And a lot of people's goals is to eat better, to start working out. So I think this is perfect that we got a chance to connect and that now you're going to be sharing all your tips and tricks with moms who want to get fit. So
Yeah.
welcome. I'm so excited to have you. How do you feel?
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm excited. This is my first time doing a podcast interview. So this is really cool. I'm excited to be able to share just my fitness journey and, hopefully just be able to help moms out there. So I think this is so cool that you're doing this.
So I know we always get to hear the story of like the super successful, already made it, like, CEOs and, or fitness gurus that are on TV. And I really just want to talk to the mom next door because, you don't get the insight, but yet there are so many moms out there that are kicking butt in different areas of their life that can share so much wisdom and tips with the rest of us. That's why it's so important to talk to just, moms out there that, are not like on the cover of magazines and on like TED Talks and stuff like that, but still have a lot, to share. You mentioned your fitness journey. How did you get into fitness?
Well, I've always been pretty active just my entire life, but actually really taking it seriously, I would say about a year ago. I started changing my eating habits maybe about 2.5 years ago, but I wasn't actually really staying consistent with working out or really exercising or anything like that. I was just changing just the way I ate, just because of some health issues I had with my son and just health issues with me. So changed that up. And then it's been exactly a year now that I've been consistent working out, exercising. I started last year around the holidays. I think I was just at that point in my life where like I really needed to just change. I was reading a lot of books to do a
Hmm.
lot of personal growth, but I needed something more. I was like, okay, like I know I need to grow my mind, like because I was just going through a lot of things, but personal things, and I was like, okay, I need to, get better with my mind. But I was like, you know what, my body for me at the time was an issue. Like I had problems with my body, the way I felt. And I was like, I just need to feel better about myself. So that's why I just chose to start and just stay consistent with it.
So you said a lot of things there that are so important and that, I think that whenever we start our journey, need to work on. So it kind of started as you dabbled in it and then, you had health issues like you and your son. And so you did it for your son and, yourself. But then the consistency, I think that was the big factor because you said you were doing it a little bit before, but what has been the key thing that you're doing that has allowed you to stay consistent with fitness this past year?
I love a good challenge. I'm very competitive. So I was like, you know what? Like, I'm going to do it naturally. I'm going to do it for myself. And I'm going to grow that booty that I've always wanted. Um, and I'm going to get that slim waist, which I haven't. But honestly, I think for me, just continuing to challenge myself on a daily basis. I don't know if that answers it, but I think for me, just continuing because like I said, just because how I know how I am as a person, I am very competitive, like I said. So just continuing to challenge myself every day really has helped me to just stay consistent. And obviously now it's just a lifestyle for me. So it doesn't make it as maybe as challenging as it was for me at the beginning.
I like that you said that. Like, you know yourself so well that you're like, I know that I like a challenge. So I'm going to make this a challenge for me. Like, you started seeing it differently.
Mhm.
And since you got to know
Yeah.
yourself and you're like, oh, this is what I like, this is what motivates me, your personality to feel challenged was what really has
Mhm.
kept you consistent this whole time until it
Yeah.
just has become, it sounds like, second nature to you now.
Yeah,
That's
definitely.
awesome. So how did you even start? Like, what was the first thing that you started to do? Because I think this is where a lot of people get stuck in fitness is, okay, do I eat better, or do I like start working out? And if I start working out, do I need to go to the gym for an hour, 2 hours? Like if I start eating healthy, does that mean I have to throw away everything that's in my pantry? There's so
Yeah.
many like things that you can start doing that I think people just get overwhelmed with all of the
Yeah.
options. So what did you do?
Well, I know for me, it was a lot of like the vanity. It started with that. And then I think I just started changing my mindset. Like I knew I wanted to make it a lifestyle. Just don't overthink it. How I started was I just knew I wanted to lose 30 pounds. Like that was my goal. I didn't know how I was going to do it. I just knew that that was what I wanted to do was to lose 30 pounds. And I was like, okay, after I knew my goal, I was like, okay, now what I need to do, I found a gym that's literally like 5 minutes from my house. And I had actually been to that gym long time ago, but like I said, I stopped, wasn't consistent. And it's a lot of cardio there. So I knew, okay, if I want to lose weight, I need to build my cardio. I know that I'm not at that point. I was not when I started, I wasn't disciplined enough to go get a membership at a regular gym and go by myself. At that time, I didn't have a gym buddy or I didn't have a friend that, wanted to lose weight with me or whatever. So I didn't have that like accountability partner. I think a lot of people look for that. But for me, I just wanted to do it myself. I was like, you know what? I don't want to rely on anyone. I don't want to, it's great to have a gym buddy, don't get me wrong. But I think when you're first starting, you need to just rely on yourself and
Mhm.
just learn to be accountable for yourself. And that's going to definitely challenge you in doing that. So I think for me, it was just a great way to start. And I just started going to that gym. I knew they had a lot of cardio there. And I was like, I'm going to just start there. I just went in. I just went all in. I was like, I'm not fooling around this time. I got to just go. And obviously, I made it convenient for myself so that it would be somewhere close by too. So for me, that's just what I did to start. Of course, I was already changing my eating habits. And I mentioned that like 2 years prior, I already had cut out a lot of things that you feel like you have to just get to know your body. And I think you know when something is just not good for you. And you just have to discipline yourself to just cut it out. I don't do diets. I just have my own like beliefs with it. But so I didn't do any strict diet. I just cut out what I knew was bad for my body, what
Mhm.
just didn't make me feel good. But I didn't clear out my fridge or anything like that. Like I said, I really worked on like not overthinking it, giving myself grace and
Mhm.
just continuing.
Was it a
Yeah.
little bit, like, intuitive where you would eat something and you're like, "Oh, if I eat bread, I know that I'm sluggish or I'm tired," and so you started,
Yeah.
eliminating that or switching it out for something healthier?
Like when you are intentional about your eating habits, when you say, okay, like I'm gonna change how I eat, right? You start to think about it more now. And then you're like, you have, let's just say, a slice of pizza, and you're like, I didn't, because you're thinking about it. So you're like, that didn't really make me feel that good.
Mhm.
So then you just know, just be intentional about it and say, okay, I'm not going to eat that slice of pizza anymore, or I'm going to, or whatever. Like, but yeah, for me, it was just more, it was intuitive. It was more, I did do cleanses. I would do
Mhm.
like, I would do intermediate fasting. And I started doing intermediate fasting because my husband has really bad allergies. So we
Mhm.
discovered that by doing intermediate fasting, it helped his allergies. So I originally just started doing that just because of him, not because of me. It was more like, okay, you're going to do it. I'm going to do it too. And then I realized that when I got like, I would do the intermediate fasting, just like a 24-hour one. And then I would just start eating how I was eating. I'd be like, oh, that didn't sit well. Like, or like, so you just have to start identifying things that you know are just not good for yourself, for your body.
Mhm. So, I have to ask, do you still eat pizza?
I do. I love pizza. I didn't like pizza for a long time, actually. I don't know why, but I do. I do eat regular pizza. So I had cheese is one of the things that I had cut out. So I don't consume cheese. I really don't consume dairy products. But when I have pizza, I do. I'm not the one that's going to be like, you know what, just give me the vegan cheese. I mean, some vegan cheese is good though. I'm not going to lie, but I'm like, I just want a good slice of pizza. And yes, I still do eat pizza. I just
Yeah.
have, I just know that I just have my green juices ready or my wellness shots ready because I just know I'm going to get bloated and I'm not going to feel good. So Yeah. So I just
That's
have to
good.
have those things on deck. It'll help with my bloating.
Yeah. No, that's good because a lot of people, when they go into diets, they look at the lack, right? It's like they're losing the ability to eat certain foods. And I think that when you put those sort of rules, when you tell someone you shouldn't eat the pizza, you shouldn't eat the cheese, don't eat the burgers or the fries or the Coke, I think that's when you want it the most. And so I like that you're flexible. So you still kind of eat the pizza once in a while, not as often,
Yeah.
but you don't only put yourself in this box where it's like I'm only eating clean and juices and all of that stuff. So
Yeah.
that's great. So then when you started to your fitness journey, how did you start incorporating the time in your day to work out? Because I know you're a busy mom, you have multiple businesses, I mean, you're homeschooling. And so, how do you find time? Like, was it an hour every single day? Did you start with 10 minutes here, or how did that go?
The good thing I do have in my household is that I have two kids. They're 8 years apart. So my 14-year-old helps me with my 6-year-old. And because I do homeschool, I don't have to like take them to school or, whatever. It helps me because I'm able to say, hey, son, and like I said, the gym I was going to was 5 minutes away. So, I would always, hey, I'm going to the gym. So, but for me, I wanted drastic changes because I was just like, my mental health was just not there. I was going through a lot of things
Mm,
and a lot of personal things. And I just like, I wanted a drastic change. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do it. And I literally, when I first started, I was at the gym like 3 hours. I would do class after class after class because it just made me feel so good.
mhm,
And I was like, I'm going to lose these 30 pounds. I'm going to lose these 30 pounds. So honestly, at the beginning, my schedule was just all over the place. There wasn't like a balance. There wasn't like, I was not good with like doing a set schedule. I was just, like I said, I was just all over the place because I just wanted to start. After maybe, I would say maybe after like 2 months of just kind of being all over the place, I would just go either in the morning and the evening, whatever worked for me, I would just do it. And then I think like probably after 2 months of me kind of being all over the place, I was like, okay, I'm doing well at the gym, but my household was not. You can kind of tell when it's kind of shaky at home. Your kids are kind of like, mom's not home, so I was like, okay, like I need to get my like reel myself back and get myself home. I started to say, okay, I'm going to get up before the kids get up and I'm going to do my 2 hours at the gym. Let's just say like from 6 to 8 in the morning while they're still sleeping, and then I get home and then I can just go about my day. So I did do that for a while too. That's when I first started. It's a little
yeah.
different now.
So, are you still doing 2 hours at the gym now, or did you bring it down? Or
So I've brought it down because I was like tearing up my body
mm,
because I was just going to, because the classes that they're very high intensity, a lot of jumping, a lot of, it's like circuit training, hit. Actually, just stopped going there last month. I thought I knew what I wanted to accomplish with my body when I first started, but now I'm like, I'm on another level. I'm like, okay, no, I want something different.
mhm.
So now I'm just going to EOS and training there myself.
You start with a goal in mind, and then you're like, I don't know how, but I'm just going to go all in. And so you started with 3 hours and you gave it your all. And it was like it took a little bit to get it out of your system. And then you realized, hey, because I think we have this idea of balance, of work life
Mhm.
balance. And I am a believer that balance is achieved within, and then everything kind of just flows out naturally. So you said, you brought up you were going through some personal issues. And so your way was like, hey, I'm going to go work out and I'm going to get all of
Mhm.
this stuff out. But you started to see a little bit of chaos in your home life, because you were
Yeah.
focusing on, on working out. You were so focused on that. So the inside reflecting on the outside. But then you started to change that. You were aware of it. You decided, hey, I need to spend some more time at home. I need to bring it down at the gym. Now you've grown and you've decided, hey, I don't want what I wanted in the past when I first started working out. And now you get to shift again and then decide that it's going to look different now. And I just love like that mentality of the flexibility. You just went all in, you started, you did it, and it wasn't perfect and you were all over the place, but you were at least you were doing it. And I think that
Yeah.
that's awesome. We I'm a planner, so I try to have the, A, B, C, D, and
Yeah.
all these lists. And sometimes we get stuck in the planning and we don't get enough action. We
Mhm.
don't do it enough. So that's awesome. What about meal times? Do you spend a lot of time cooking healthy meals, or is it
Um,
pretty quick now?
no, it's pretty quick because I don't meal prep. I know a lot of people are into that. I think it just depends on how you are. I think you just have to know your life, and what applies to you. For me, there's been times I have meal prep, but honestly, I feel like I have the time to where I can, make myself a meal. Like I don't have to be preparing it all the time in advance. And a lot of the things that I eat are very simple. I don't eat meat, so a lot of my things, it's like various. I already know I'm gonna have egg whites in the morning. I'm gonna have oatmeal. I know I have to have my carbs, my protein, and protein shake. Like it's very like simple. A lot of the things that I eat, my kids eat, so I'm not having to make four different meals or anything like that. But I don't really spend too much time like cooking. But I do eat like every 2 to 3 hours. Yeah, because right now I'm more on like I want to build more muscle, so I know that okay, like because I don't get a lot of protein from like meat and stuff. I know I have to be more intentional about that and just making sure I'm eating more often. I'll grab an
Yeah.
avocado and just slice it up and eat it like that, or whatever.
Okay.
Like I don't get too fancy with my meals. I just
So I love watching what I eat in a day videos on YouTube. So walk us through like a what you eat in a day, because you kind of mentioned you'll have eggs and or your oatmeal. So give us like what do you eat in a day?
normally in the mornings I'll have 4 to 6 egg whites, and I always add veggies. Whatever veggies I have is what I will add. At least 2 to 3 veggies, avocados, of course. That's my breakfast. If I'm most of the time I do have coffee, so I'll make myself like a toast or two, depending if it's like leg day. I'll try to consume more carbs. So today was a little bit more simple. So let's see. So I'll have like one toast with always some sort of butter, nut butter, and then some honey and bananas, which is very common. A lot of people eat that. So that's my toast, my coffee, and my egg white scramble, or whatever I decide to do with eggs. And then 2 hours later, I'll probably have a protein shake. If I don't have a protein shake, I'll have some sort of nuts, almonds, cashews, something to munch on, and then like an apple with more nut butter on it. That'll be like my snack. And then let's see. And then for lunch, I'll do another toast I'll do avocado toast.
Hmm.
Most of the time, that's what it is: avocado toast, tomato. Like I said, whatever veggies I have is what I put on my toast. So that's my lunch. And then another meal will either, just depending on my day, but another meal will be like fruit, some sort of fruit, and some sort of like nuts, something. Cashews most of the time is what I stick to. And that's another snack. And then I'll have some rice cakes as well. And then dinner will be, if it's the week where I can have salmon, because I guess I don't eat meat, but I've tried to start adding fish
Hmm.
for protein reasons. I'll do salmon and like asparagus and brown rice. Actually, right now I'm looking at my food and I have a crepe in front of me, a veggie crepe in front of me that
Hmm.
I didn't have time to eat because I literally right before we started, I was getting home from the gym and I was like, I gotta hurry. Sorry. See, like my brain just goes like everywhere. Sorry. We were okay. So that was my dinner. That would be my dinner. Or I would have like bean tacos or some sort of like beans or lentils or something like that for dinner. And I know my body. If I know I didn't eat enough, I'll start to crave sweets. I'll be like,
Mm.
oh, I want like a cinnamon roll or something. And if I have it, I will eat it.
Mhm.
And I don't care if it's late, like I will eat it. Carbs and protein all day.
Oh, yeah. So, what are your staples, food staples? You mentioned eggs and avocado a lot. I love avocados. Yeah, what are some of
Yeah.
the other like must-haves that, keep you eating
Oh,
clean?
microgreens.
Mhm.
I always put microgreens on either in my smoothies or on my toast. I'll use microgreens instead of using a lot of people put spinach on their avocado toast. So I'll use microgreens instead. I'll use spinach too, but I prefer microgreens, tomatoes, onions, avocados, good bread. Normally it's like Ezekiel or just like any like whole wheat, like something with nuts in it type
Mhm.
of bread is what I always have. Oat milk, I must always have oat milk. I love oat milk. Oatmeal. Yeah, those are I always have to have that at home. And bananas.
So when you started to eat healthier, did you see that reflect in your grocery budget too? Because that's another thing. A lot of people want to eat healthy, but can't afford to eat healthier.
That's funny they actually asked me that because my husband and I were very like strict with our budget, and I like, I write everything down when it comes to like our budget and stuff. So it did change a little bit. But I just knew what my budget was. And actually, okay, so the thing for me, I think the thing that helps me save money is because I don't buy meat, and meat is very expensive.
Yes.
I do buy chicken at times. I'll buy turkey because of my husband. He does eat chicken, fish, but it's not a lot. It's very minimal. Like what I do buy in meat, he's kind of getting more used to trying to eat more how I eat. It did change a little bit, but not. I think I just knew what I could spend. I just do my best to make sure I stay within that budget or within the number that we know. Okay, like we can't be going over this. Or I try to be smart about the stores that I go to too, because I love going to like Trader Joe's, Sprouts, Whole Foods, but those stores can get up there. If you've shopped there before, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So now I just know, okay, like I'm gonna go to Trader Joe's instead of Whole Foods and Sprouts because I know Trader Joe's is a little bit more affordable. And yeah, so I just try to be like smart about those things, just kind of keep that in mind. Don't let like your budget stop you from like changing your eating habit. Just be smart about it and just know like that there's certain things that you want to eat and just maybe plan for that.
I know you eat healthy, you fuel your body with good stuff, and you work out. What else or how else do you take care of yourself to make sure that you have the energy, the mood to do everything that you do on a daily basis?
Wow. I actually don't do a lot more outside of my family, homeschooling, fitness, the businesses. I mean, besides doing like my pedicures, my manicures, that's really important to me. It's a must for me. But outside of that, I don't really do, well, this makes me feel really good. But like date nights for me is like mandatory. If I don't have that quality time with my husband, it's like, so I have to have that like time with him to like recharge. That really gives me a lot of like um, it fills up my love tank. If you read the book Five Love Languages,
Yeah.
uh, quality time is my number one. So I just need to. I think for me, like my self care outside of fitness, outside of maybe getting my manis and petties, is quality time with my loved ones,
Mhm.
with my friends. If I have that time, it's like for me, it's what I need. I guess I'm not big on like maybe doing like massages or facials. I don't know. It takes me
Mhm.
forever just to go get my hair cut or something done to it. I can go
Yeah.
like 2 years without doing anything to it.
Everybody's self-care is gonna look different. Everybody, like you said, everybody's tank is gonna be fueled differently. For me, I like to spend time alone.
Mhm.
Do you ever feel any guilt about that? Do you get, mom shamed for taking a night off or whatever? Or, you just don't care?
Um, I'm very like, like, um, I do. There is times that I do feel, when I start to feel like I'm not dedicating enough time to my kids with homeschooling, or we're not doing a lot of things. I feel like I'm not doing things with them outdoors, or yeah, I do feel that guilt at times. I'm just the type of person, like, I just don't let it bother me that much because I'll take action
Mm,
immediately.
yeah.
I know it and I'm like, all right, like this needs to be fixed. I'll fix it. I'll do something about it and then let's move on. It doesn't always work that way. Yeah, like there, there's times I slack off and I'm just like, because I do procrastinate at times too. So, but I try to, if I do feel like I'm not being a good mom, I need to fix it. Because if I get myself to that point where I'm like, it starts to affect your whole mood and you're just like, I'm like, no, like, because if I allow this to affect me right now, like, I'm just not going to accomplish anything else because,
Mhm.
I'm just going to dwell on it. So I'm like, I can't do that. So
Mhm.
I try to
I
fix
love
it
that.
immediately so that it doesn't, so I don't have to just be in a funk for however many days or.
No, that's good. I love that you don't let it get to you. You don't let it bother you. Do you think that has anything to do with the confidence you've built as a mom, like in your mom role throughout the years?
I believe so, because a lot of the times I'm not like sometimes the things that we do feel guilty for doing for ourselves or like self care or I'm going to take a night off or this or things that you would feel guilty for or that you would be mom shamed for. It's things that are good for you and you need to do so that your household can be intact. Because if mom is not intact, your household's gonna fall apart. Like dad's not
Mhm.
gonna keep it in place. Like mom's gonna keep it in place. So by me doing the things that I know my type of self care or whatever it is that I need to, do for myself. First of all, I'm not doing anything bad, right, or anything that's necessarily hurting my family. And second of all, I see the benefits in my household after, so that helps me a lot to feel just better about myself, to build that confidence, and just to know that, yeah, like it's okay what I'm doing. And I see how actually like how my kids are and how it's actually helping them, like by us eating better and they're very active, they want to work out with me and we make it fun. It's not always just about me. I try to do workouts and stuff with my kids too, so involve them in what I'm doing. So
Mhm.
yeah, and I think that really helps me to maintain, like, to continue growing my confidence as a mom and just knowing that I'm doing something good, for my family.
A lot of moms that I come across, especially first time moms, as they're getting kind of like the hang of motherhood, they feel guilty, for leaving the kids for a few hours, let alone, a night. I went on a girls trip in September and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I need more of this." I need 2 to 3 nights off. Like
Yeah.
it was amazing. And a lot of what I talk about is that, putting yourself first because your family is going to benefit from it. And I think it's so hard to see how it's going to benefit your family until you start doing it. I think it's so important that you just do it.
Yeah.
Take a page from your notebook and just do it. Like do it full, go full in and then see the results as you grow and as time goes. So, before we head out, what are some tips for moms, to get started on their health journey? It's December now, so maybe just some a couple of tips, maybe 3 to 5 tips that you want to give moms so that they can get started that have helped you. Maybe you've given to other friends and have helped them. So, what do you want to share?
I think your first one should be just set realistic goals for yourself. Like you have to know yourself and know where you're at in life, what your life looks like, what your household looks like, and set realistic goals based off of that. If you know for a fact that you want to start to work out, and especially right now in this time of year, right? Like a lot of people feel like right now is where like I can just like not do nothing and then I'll just start 2022. But I'm a big believer in like just starting now. Like if you feel it in your gut, like this is what I want to do, like just do it now. Because if you don't, you're just gonna prolong it and it's probably not gonna happen. Or you're not gonna stay consistent with it.
Mhm.
Um so yeah, just making sure that at least, hey, if it's something you want to do now, if it's something you've been thinking about, even if it's just 15 minutes of your day, if you want to walk, if you want to run, just depending where you're at, just start getting active, just start doing those little things like that. If you have friends that are into fitness or are at least starting to, or, like connect with them, sometimes some people need that. They need that gym buddy or that person to kind of keep you accountable, like don't be shy about it, like just reach out to someone that or maybe someone has been there's always those friends that get together and are like, yeah, like we need to, go hiking, or we need, oh my gosh, girl, like I need to lose 15 pounds, or, so I feel like whatever, if you've had those conversations with another mom or another girlfriend, like hit them up, and say, hey, like, let's get, let's get this going. I think that helps a lot. But yeah, just like really setting those like realistic goals for yourself. And then I would say to really identify why you want to either lose weight. Like, why do you want to get into fitness? Like, why do you want to get healthy? Why do you want to eat better? Why do you want to lose those 10 pounds, those 20, 30, 40 pounds, whatever it is, like just really identifying that, because I feel like it makes it easier once you identify like why you, and like be real with yourself, like why it really is. And if it is for vanity reasons, it's okay. Like I feel like sometimes like you don't want to admit that, like, or we want to feel like, no, it's because I really just want to eat healthy. Like, no, girl, like you just want to have that, like that big booty, or, it's
Yeah.
okay. Like, so just be real with yourself and just like know your why. Oh, my third thing would be to be patient with yourself. If
Mhm.
you're not doing this for like a competition, if you're not trying to be a bodybuilder, there's really no urgency behind it. Just be patient with yourself, trust the process. Don't compare your fitness, your journey to anybody else. Like I know social media is so like it's so big and it influences our lives so much. And I know, so I know sometimes it's hard, but I think that, just don't compare yourself to anyone else. We all have different bodies. We all just function differently. And just be patient. Like don't rush it. It's okay. Like you know, um, if you're not, maybe losing as weight as fast as possible, maybe you're not, or I don't know, maybe you already have lost the weight, now you just want to gain muscle, maybe the muscle's not growing as fast as you want it to grow, or I don't know, maybe the cellulite's not going away as fast as you want it to go away, whatever, that loose skin that, we tend to have because we had babies, maybe it's not getting as tight as fast as we want it. But just trust the process and just know that you're doing something good for yourself. Just be patient, be graceful with yourself. Consistency, be consistent. Just follow through on your goals. That's going to really help you earn confidence. And that's going to really help you to stay consistent, if that makes sense. You got to
Yeah.
stay consistent to earn confidence. Once you earn that confidence, you're gonna, it's gonna help you to say, okay, the next day it's gonna be a lot easier, and it's gonna get a lot easier, a lot easier, a lot easier. And don't don't think of it as like a, if you're wanting to change your eating habits, for me and just what's worked for me, everyone's different, but just don't do diets. Very stressful.
Yeah. And restricting.
Yeah, it restricts you from like, it restricts you from a lot of food that you feel like you can't eat, but you can.
Hmm.
um, I do believe in cutting things out, that if you, depending on your goal, there is certain things that you have to cut out, but it doesn't mean you can never have it again. Or, because a diet is just temporary, and a diet is not something that we can continue. Like, you can't always eat veggies, brown rice, and chicken forever. I would say just change your mindset with diets and just see it more of a lifestyle for yourself, for your family, for your kids, because your kids are going to do what you do, not what you tell them.
Your tips were great. You shared 4 great tips with us. Thank you,
Okay.
Liz, so much for your time, for, sharing your fitness journey with us,
Thank you.
and then also teaching us that fitness, it doesn't have to be perfect. If you just want to start, if you have the drive for it, you can just start today, start imperfectly and figure it out as you go. I love your
Yeah.
flexibility. I love your energy. I love that you keep it simple because you are a busy mom, you're doing so many things. And so, really, just doing what works for you, I think, is one of the biggest takeaways. You said you look at your life and how fitness and how much time you can devote to it. Simple, it's easy, anyone can do it, and you can start today. You don't have to wait until January 1st, right?
Yeah. Sometimes it's easier if you just maybe start with eating a little bit better, because it makes you feel better, because you're like, oh, like I followed through today with not eating maybe the donuts that I normally would eat in the morning, or not that you can't have donuts, but but sometimes, it's easy with like, that's what I mean by just setting realistic goals for yourself that, sometimes it could just be like, honestly, if you don't want to start exercising right away, maybe it could just be something as like, you know what, like I've been wanting to really cut out bread. I feel like a lot of people say that. I eat bread all the time. I love bread. It's really good for you. You just have to learn to eat better bread.
Yeah.
Sometimes we're just setting those goals, that small thing that, or maybe I just don't want to eat as much sugar, or I don't know, maybe you're eating out a lot, a lot of fast food. Maybe you just say, this week I'm not going to eat fast. I'm not going to eat fast food, or whatever. Or 3 days out of the week, I'm not going to stop at Burger King or whatever it is. Some people
Mhm.
just, they love eating stuff like that, or because of time,
Yeah.
they don't have the time to.
It's
So I would just say,
convenient.
even like, yeah, it's convenient for sure. So even just doing little things like that,
Mhm.
because that'll help you to just say, okay, like I followed through this week or this or today, and that'll get you kind of going to say, all right, like now I need to, maybe I do need to start running, or I need to start walking, or I'm not big on like going to parks. That's something that I want to get better at with my kids. But if I know there's a lot of moms that loves doing stuff like that. That's, you're being active by doing that, running around with your kids. And but yeah, something that's just simple things like that.
Mhm. Yeah, sometimes it's just a simple swap or just adding,
Mhm.
like you said, a little bit of physical activity,
Yeah.
whatever, just, small steps compound, right?
Unless you're like me and you're drastic
Yeah, spend 3 hours at the
and
gym.
dramatic, then sometimes we need that though. You don't have to do it the way I did it, but sometimes you're like, you know what, like it's now, like I need to, and sometimes you just need that, and just, man, like just go for it. And you're gonna feel amazing. Trust me, you're gonna feel amazing, and it's gonna just help you to just continue moving. And you're gonna, oh my gosh, it's so crazy what you discover with your body once you start going. You're
Mhm.
like, I literally, just wanted to lose 30 pounds because I wanted to be skinny. Now
Uh-huh.
I'm like, no, I want to be like thicker. And I discovered that I have muscle under those legs, and I have muscle on my, forearms. And I'm like, now I want to have muscle, so it's just crazy, like how just what you discover and how amazing our bodies are. Like, honestly, it's crazy what you can do. And it's so, so cool just to see you going from like, man, I couldn't even do one burpee before, or like one push up. And now I'm like doing like five straight, like it's just so cool to see that. It's so rewarding. And I don't know. And it's cool for your family to see that, for your kids to see you just like, like mom's doing something,
I had so much fun listening to you talking about all of this stuff because I mean, I've struggled with my weight. I do so well and then I kind of fall off. It's that consistency has been one of my biggest issues. And so, this time of the year last year, I was really, exercising and I was active and I was eating better. And this year I'm like, what happened? Like when did I fall off? And it's just been hard getting back into the routine. So listening to you talk
Yeah.
about fitness and just how simple it can be, I know I'm getting so much out of it. And I know so many moms are going to get so much out of it as well. And just go for it. Like you said, go
Yeah.
for it.
I think this time of the year is the best time. Um it probably sounds funny me saying that, but on it, because there is so many parties and holidays, and you have to remember it's like one day. Christmas is one day. It's not the 30 days out of the month, or Thanksgiving is one day. I get it. Family comes to town, you're eating out or whatever, doing fun stuff. Never want to take away from that. But I feel like if you could start around the holidays, it's the best time, because you're going to really challenge yourself and you're going to see how much you can actually do. And what's sometimes like we don't know like how much we have in there, like to just like go all in. So I just feel like, man, like if you can just start around this time, like any other time of the year is going to like be a piece of cake.
Yeah. If you can
Because then
resist the turkey and the pies,
Yeah.
then you can
And the thing
you
is,
got
you
it.
can have all of those things. Like you can eat all of that,
Mhm.
obviously just in moderate portions. And you can do all of those. You can have all those meals. You can, have all of that. It's just more like just pushing through it, like doing it and be like, okay, like maybe I'm just not going to have as much as I normally, I'm not going to have three plates. I'm going to maybe just have one or,
Yeah.
whatever. I'm not going to have a whole pie. I'm going to maybe just have a slice. I don't know. I mean, I can eat a whole pie. So it's like, I really feel like if you can really challenge yourself, especially if you're a person that likes a challenge,
Mhm.
um, I know not everyone's like that. I speak that because that's how I am. But if you like a challenge, I would definitely say like challenge yourself around this time of the year because if you could push through this time of the year, then any other time of the year is going to be a piece of cake. Because then summer comes around and then you're like, oh, all the barbecues, all the pool parties, all. So it's always something. Yeah, if you could just push through this time, any other time was it's going to be like a piece of cake for you.
Well, thank you again for your time and
Of
all of
course.
your tips. I feel like I took away, just knowing my life, knowing my goal, and just going for it. So, thank you again, Liz,
Yeah.
for
Thank
taking
you.
the time to be on the podcast and have a good one.
Thank you. You too.